Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another video. I'm sitting at home watching Fire TV, and I stumble upon a YouTube channel on YouTube, and it's titled Vampire Robot. It's basically a YouTube channel that contains a lot of old B-roll footage of that showcased what life was like in the 1970s, 1980s, and 1990s here in the United States. How simpler life was. I saw a video of people going to school, going to high school in 1977, people eating out at a McDonald's in 1984, and people shopping at a Kmart in 1992. Those of you who don't know what Kmart is, Kmart was a store. Yeah, I remember Kmart. And excuse me. And in all of these B-roll video footages, and let's see, and in all of these old video footage, people were smiling. People were happy. People were treating each other with respect. Nobody wasn't looking at a smartphone because smartphones didn't exist. People were holding their head up high. People were looking up, then looking down at a smartphone like they do today. Customers and employees at businesses treated each other with respect. They didn't walk all over each other. They didn't give each other a hard time. And, comparing the videos on Vampire Robot to this crazy world that we live in, how can I say this? There's no comparison, or there is a comparison. Okay, like for instance, I remember this. I remember it well. I remember going grocery shopping at a grocery store called Aldi's, a German-based grocery store from Germany. I went to this Aldi's grocery store in Tyler, Texas. Okay? I go to this grocery store to do some grocery shopping. And I go to the shopping carts. You gotta to get one of these shopping carts at this grocery store, you gotta stick 25 cents or a quarter into the coin slot of every shopping cart, and they're all chained up. To release these shopping carts, one of them, you gotta stick a quarter in one. You grab a chain rope and you pull it to release it. Well, I didn't know how to do that, so I asked an employee there. I asked this very, very skinny woman. She was very, very, very skinny. Really thin. Dangerously thin. And I asked her, how do you unlock these shopping carts? Instead of talking to me and showing me how to do it, she did this real quick. She reached in, pulled out a quarter, stuck it in the slot, pulled one of the shopping carts to release them, and just zipped away. She did it real quickly, and I didn't say anything. I mean, it would be funny if I said this, thank you, but I didn't say anything. So I just grabbed a shopping cart and just went and did my, whoa, actually, I didn't know what to do, so I just figured it out. And I think I went in the grocery store and and got one of the shopping carts in there, try to figure it out. So I just went and just taught myself. I had to teach myself how to release these shopping carts. So what I did, I just took 25 cents and, well, I just figured it out. I just see what she did. And this woman, this skinny woman who got a shopping cart for me, had the nerve to come up to me and say this to me. Sir, do you want to shop? Sir, do you want to shop? Sir, do you want to shop? I didn't say anything to her. I just left her alone. You know, and stuff like that. That's the reason why we have so many mass shootings. Because you got a lot of people who act stupid and give people a hard time, and that's why we have mass shootings in this country. Because we don't know how to respect one another anymore. We don't know how to talk to each other anymore. We don't understand each other anymore. We just like to treat each other like crap and tear each other down. That's what we do in this country. That's why we have so many mass shootings. That's why we have a lot of mentally ill people. That's why we have all of that. But, you know, going back to Vampire Robot, you know, I'm going to compare the experience I had with this woman at this Audi grocery store with one of these videos on Vampire Robot. So let me choose one because I watched one of them. Okay, I found one. Okay, the name of this video, I've picked one out on the Vampire Robot YouTube channel, and it's titled People Shopping at a Kmart Store in 1992. Okay, I watched this video. It's about 7 hours and 41 seconds, so it's a very short video. And yeah, and cashiers in this store were smiling. You know, they treat each other with respect. You know, nobody used debit cards or anything. No automated checkout counters. You know, in the beginning of the video, I saw a little boy or a child falling off a merry-go-round at this Kmart, which is funny. Okay, yeah, they had stuff like that at stores a long time ago, and they did. Okay, going back to this Kmart shopping experience in 1992 on this video. Okay, this guy, it was a black guy. I think he was from Africa. He was talking to one of the Kmart employees in electronics. And the guy just explained to this African, even though this African was talking crazy about, you know, about TVs being made in the US, wherever he was talking about, this employee was very civil. He didn't zip around like a jackass. He was very civil, very respectful, and he just talked to this guy about this TV. And that's it. And you know, at the end of the video, there was this guy trying to figure out which TV he should buy. You know, the TVs were very expensive. You know, the old school floor model TVs. Yeah, and on one of the TVs, Full House, an old television show, was playing on them. Yeah, Full House was a popular TV show back in 1992, and it was. Yeah, like, you know, no crap. No crazy disrespectful employees, no crazy customers. You know, everybody was all dressed up and nice. Nobody wasn't looking like a hobo, a bum, or whatnot. You know, no Karens, no third wave radical feminists or anything. None of that. Yeah. Well, yeah. This vampire robot YouTube channel is basically a time capsule. You know, it's also videos of people shopping. Shopping at stores, eating out and ordering food and eating out at fast food restaurants. I mean, yeah, I mean, no crap. But you know, the old days, of what life was like in the 70s, 80s, and 90s in the United States. It wasn't all sunshine and rainbows and lollipops. You had some bad going on. You had some messed up people. But overall, some people weren't all messed up. Some were, some weren't. But it would be shocking. Hold on a second. Renting videos at a Blockbuster store. I remember Blockbuster Video. I remember it. It's a place where you go and rent a movie and and go and rent a video game for your video game console. Yeah, Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, whatnot. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. You know, from videos that showed people queuing up or lining up at a filling station or lining up at filling stations, gas stations, and car washes in Maryland in 1979. And I saw that, people were patient. Nobody wasn't going crazy or anything. No fighting, no nothing. And this was during the age of the gasoline crisis of the 70s. So, that wasn't great, but, people were civil, and I saw a guy who was, this is on one of the videos here on the Vampire Robot YouTube channel. One guy was like pushing his car. I think it was an old Volkswagen Beetle or whatnot. It ran out of gas and he was pushing it. So I guess you're going to push it all the way to one of the gas pumps and fill it up. Well, overall, and during that time, the price for fuel for cars were in the U.S. in 1979 was 80 cents. And also, you can get a quarter pounder with cheese at a McDonald's for $1.05. That's shocking. Okay, in one of the comments on one of the videos on the Vampire Robot YouTube channel. I'm on Fire TV, Amazon Fire TV, and I can read the comments on one of the videos. Here's one. Let me read this one. Social media and phones has done so much damage to our society. People had more respect back then and seemed happier. Okay, here's another one. I remember those years. We were happier and healthier, at least overall as a society. Didn't have nearly the rate of mental health disorders there are now. We weren't trauma hyper either. Let me read this again. Someone typed a really bad comment. I'll just read it again. I remember those days. We were happy and healthier, at least overall as a society. Didn't have nearly the rate of mental health disorders either that we do have today. We weren't trauma hyper either. Yeah. Let me read this again. I remember those days. We were happier and healthier, at least overall as a society. Didn't have nearly the rate of mental health disorders. We weren't trauma hyper either. Okay, here's another one. Back then, people were very polite while being videotaped. Now today, it is the opposite. Here's another one. It's the people nowadays. They don't care how they act. They act how they want to act, and they think it's cool. Here's another one. A much classier and polite society than the shit show we live in today. Here's another one. Back when people were normal. Okay, one more. When we had friendly customer service. Now say these stores that don't give a shit. When we have friendly customer service. Now says these stores that don't give a shit. That says it all. Everyone dressed nicely. The world is a toilet now. I'll do another one. Why not? When the US had value versus today paper. Yeah, this Vampire Robot YouTube channel is amazing. A blast from the past. It's like a time capsule. It's the closest thing to a time machine. You know, speaking of time machine, as bad as 2023 here in the US is, or modern day America, or modern day United States, how bad this country is nowadays. I wish there was a DeLorean. Yeah, that time machine car from the movie Back to the Future. If I have something like that, I will hop in it and get up to 88 miles per hour or 142 kilometers per hour. Race up to that higher speed and just go back in time. Before I do that, I just set what date and year I want to travel to. I don't know. I might travel to one of the years in the 1990s, one of the years in the 1980s or one of the years in the 1970s. Barry, I'll probably go back to the 90s, and change some things that I wasn't proud of. Back in the 90s, I was just out of control, troublesome, snot-nosed punk kid that got in trouble. I didn't want to learn anything. You know, I did the things that I did. I was wild and out of control because, I had a learning problem. I had a learning disability, I didn't want to sit down and, I didn't want to learn anything because, my mind had this problem of receiving and processing information which allowed me to learn something. It was basically a developmental disability. If I can get into my snot-nosed punk kid self, might get myself into learning something, get into sports, get into girls and learn how to talk to girls, You know, during that time I probably have a girlfriend in junior high and high school, and if I change if I change the past for myself, I'll return to this modern era. I'll be a married man with children. Yeah. Well, that doesn't exist. That DeLorean time machine doesn't exist. No time. There's no such thing as a time machine today. But this vampire robot YouTube channel, this vampire robot YouTube channel, is the closest thing to a time machine. Just flipping through all these videos and just seeing what life was like, in the past, how people behaved, how people treated each other compared to how people treat each other today. And yeah, I heard about those mass shootings. We had 2 mass shootings, and the U.S. going to keep on and keep on having these mass shootings. We had a mass shooting in Memphis, Tennessee. Then we have another one that just happened not that long ago. A mass shooting that happened in Louisville, Kentucky. Wow. I mean, and these mass shootings are happening because, people who commit these shootings, they had a bad upbringing with their families. They were picked on in school. They've been shitted on, they've been crapped on at the workplace, at their job, in modern day society, and they just snap and lose it and go in a mass shooting and just kill it and just shoot and kill innocent people. Yeah. But, mass shootings, they happen, back in the old days, 70s, 80s, and 90s, I don't know. But they didn't happen all the time like they do now. I remember that comment I just read on one of these videos that states, everybody treated each other with respect, and we didn't have the higher number of mentally ill people or mental illness. Yeah. Yeah. Whew. Yeah, what a channel, what a channel. Watching these videos, some people commented on one of these videos and they say they teared up and they started crying, and just people just broke down in tears, just seeing what the U.S. was like, back in the old days, back in the day. You know, I didn't cry when I watched one of these videos, but I just felt just I felt sad and hollow inside. You know, and I did. You know, back in the day, people made some. I went to school. I was in junior high. The kids want to make some of themselves. And it was like this. Wrestling terms. I mean, everybody was a baby face. I was a heel. Flip the script today. I'm the baby face, and everybody is a heel. So yeah, you know, um, yeah, I saw a lot of mental health professions and a psychiatrist all through my life. And I realized, there's nothing wrong with me. There's something wrong with the people around me in this society. So, I'm not crazy. Those people are, and me seeing all these mental health professions and a psychiatrist not gonna make society around me better. And it's not. Because, the whole thing doesn't make any sense. Just like all these mass shootings and how people are today, how people treat each other doesn't make any sense. Yeah, and going back to that, to how that skinny woman treated me at that grocery store. I think did I say this? Yeah, I told my dad about this, and my dad said this. Oh, Richard, you're always getting into things. I mean, I was treated badly by this woman. And you're going to sit there and say that I'm always getting into things. That is the most messed up thing that I ever heard. That just shows just how messed up people are nowadays. Yeah, the world is a toilet. More like the United States of America is a toilet. So anyway, that's all I want to say in this video. If you are interested in this vampire robot YouTube channel, I don't have the link to this channel. I don't know how to do links or anything. I don't know how to do any of that because I have some crappy people who can't educate anybody anymore. Everybody just, for the most part, dumb, glued to social media, their smartphones. So yeah, if you're interested in this vampire robot YouTube channel, just type down vampire robot. Just say VAM. Just type down VAM PIRE ROBOT. Or if you have Fire TV, just ask Alexa. Just say vampire robot on YouTube, and it will give you YouTube. It will give you vampire robot. Excuse me. So that's all I gotta say in this video. And if you're bored of this video, if you find this video boring, I don't care. I really don't care. So if you enjoyed the video, give it a like. If you don't like it, give it a dislike. If you're not sure, don't do anything. Don't like it, don't dislike it. Or if you want to leave a comment if you want to or not. So So that's all I gotta say in this video. Au revoir and cheers.